comrades, Commissar Bro here today with the official start of year 11 of that business strategy game that we're finally going to start. Well, technically it's year 10. But anyway, so let me give you a quick little summary of what happened and why I'm a retard as per usual. Essentially what I did was I recorded the whole video explaining a lot of different stuff and like my strategy that I'm kind of going into the game with, what I'm thinking I'm gonna do, not necessarily giving advice on how to play the game, but essentially what I think will be beneficial towards me succeeding in the game. And did a whole 20-minute video, and just for some reason my mic just decided to not record any of my narration. So basically I'm going to be narrating over the video again and just explaining some stuff as we go along. So essentially, starting out right off the bat, you can basically see I've already put in a lot of inputs already. Basically, my revenues are looking at $326 million, which is an upwards of 0.36% from what they were the year prior. And my net profit is looking at being $51 million. Basically, we're looking at taking our total revenue, increasing it by a third, and of that, having $51 million in profit. Like, just on our first year, just the first year is me taking over as CEO. That's what we're forecasting. Now, there is going to be some changes throughout the video as I sit here and tinker with some of the numbers and basically show like how the price changes can vary, how the forecast can change depending on how we change and predict the various values. Now, see, that's the thing about this game is it's all prediction. It's all predicting what you think the people you're competing against are going to do. Remember, for those of you who didn't see the previous video, basically this game is a game where you compete against fellow classmates in teams, and you're basically you're like a board of directors essentially, and you're trying to figure out how to be the best company, how to be a profitable, good company. And you're scored on two different scores: the best in industry score and the investor expectation score. The investor expectation score is pretty obvious. Basically, investors have a certain requirement, which you can see at the bottom left under projected year 11 performance, where it says investor expect. That is what they want. That is what they want to see. As long as you're at least hitting that, you're getting points for that. But if you're exceeding it by and large, doubling it, tripling the expectation, meeting all the expectations and just blowing them out of the water, you're going to get scored much, much higher. The highest scores in the game, it seems to be, is about 110. Which only a very few companies have actually managed to do every few rounds or so what. So basically, I'm going to be shooting to try to get on the top 100 list, and I'll definitely let you guys know if I manage to succeed in doing so. With that said, this game is an incredibly intricate little game, but it's all a numbers game, and it's all a strategy game as well. You have to pick a strategy that you think is going to be the winning strategy, and you need to go into the game with that strategy and figure out what you think is going to win. The strategy that I'm kind of going with in this case, or that I'm trying out, I won't go into intricate detail because, again, I don't want anyone to know what my full-on strategy is, but essentially, I like the idea of quality, and I like the idea of market share. So, with that in mind, I'm trying to take an approach to where I meet capacity, where I am producing just enough shoes in the branded sector, for example. I'm producing just enough high-quality shoes at mid-range prices, not too low, but definitely not high. A competitive pricing strategy really is what I'm going for, on really high-quality shoes to kind of set the bar low, or at least set the bar high for my competitors, really. If they want to be able to compete with me, they're going to have to spend some money to do so. And that's kind of the whole strategy that I'm going in with, is that I want my competitors to have to compete with me. So basically being like the standard leader, essentially being the market standard itself is what my overall goal is. And like I said, I'm shooting really hard to have a strong performance very early on. That strong performance is the difference between success and defeat. Something different that I am doing this time around as opposed to what I did in the practice strategy, the practice game essentially, is right off the bat, in the European African region, I'm building 2 million capacity, or sorry, 2,000 capacity, which essentially allows me to create over 2 million pairs of shoes. So you start out with 6,000 capacity, 2,000 in the North American plant, and then 4,000 in the Asian Pacific plant. And then, like I said, I'm adding on an additional 2,000. The overall idea is to increase the capacity with which we can produce. Now, with the number of companies that are in the industry already, this is kind of a ballsy move because demand is being met. Essentially, there's more supply than there is demand. So with that in mind, we have to come up with ways to utilize this capacity in an efficient manner. We don't want to make more than we sell, obviously. So that's where the pricing comes in, or at least the quality of it. We make more quality shoes. So with that in mind, I basically want to have, it's hard to explain. I'm rambling really, and I'm like just going on. But anyway, sorry, I'm trying to stay focused. There's just so much to this game to talk about. But basically, like I said, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to take control of various markets. As you can see here on this screen, the actual internet marketing screen, I'm finagling a bit with if I should even do free shipping, for example, because it's a little difficult to figure out if free shipping is worth the price. In this particular instance, it absolutely is. Like, being able to provide that free shipping gives us almost a 4% increase all the way down the line in all 4 markets. So with that in mind, it seems like it's pretty obvious that we should pay for free shipping, and it's only going to cost about $400,000 to us, which is chump change, absolute chump change compared to how much money we're throwing around. Like, for example, what I was talking about earlier about increasing the capacity of how many shoes I could create in the European African region, that's costing me $101 million. So $101 million, how are you going to pay for that? Well, basically what I've gone and done, is, which is also something I did not do the first time, is I've gone and I've actually taken out a loan. I'm not taking out a 1-year loan or a 10-year loan. This loan is going to be financed over, the first one is $44 million, and it's going to be financed over 5 years. The second one is $40 million, and it's going to be financed over 10 years. Now, my idea with this is I'll be able to pay this back pretty fast. Truly, I should probably just go with the 1-year loan ultimately. But again, I want my credit rating to stay strong. If I go for the 1-year bank loan, my credit rating is going to drop to a B. We want to try to at least achieve a B+. We're shooting for an A-, because if we can beat the investor expectation, then we're going to get a higher score. And ultimately, that's what we're going for. We're trying to get a higher score. And again, it's always important to remember that you can just pay back the loans later. So I'm not overly concerned about I'm really not concerned about the interest, to be fair. Ultimately, it's going to get paid back. We're going to be good to go. Bygones be bygones and all that good stuff. But anyway, ultimately, I feel like my strategy of going to increase capacity is going to pay off in the end. Even with pessimistic cases, that with the least chance, I still see us making money. Increasing capacity at the beginning seems like a good idea. Like, it just seems like a good idea. Having the capability to produce more. Again, this game has 3 separate markets to compete in. It's not just one. Well, technically, it's 3 different types of markets, and then there's still 4 geographic markets to compete in. So realistically speaking, there's 12 different markets we're competing in at any given time. So it seems obvious to me, increasing that capacity, there's going to be somewhere we can sell our shoes. So that's why I'm not overly concerned about it. So yeah. I mean, that's kind of all I really want to touch on for this first little thing here. Again, I drone on for like another 10 minutes in this particular video, but I don't even remember what I was saying now, to be honest. But the important thing to remember is that for year 11, we are forecasting to be increasing our profit by about $51 million. I've changed the numbers around a couple more times, and it's a little bit higher than that now. Maybe closer to 55 million, and revenues have increased as well to about 40%. So we're looking at a pretty strong year 11. As long as our competitors don't follow a similar strategy as me, we should have a real strong year 11. And once we increase that additional capacity, we're going to really be able to strangle the rest of those markets from our opponents, and hopefully come out the dominant company within the next couple of years. This whole series is going to run for 10 years, basically, so for 10 weeks. So I hope that you guys come back and continue to check it out and enjoy it with me while I continue to play it. Honestly, this game is really fun, and I can't believe there's nothing else like it. Or at least there's nothing else that I've ever played that's like this. I don't understand why a developer wouldn't take a chance promoting this as a commercial product. This is fucking awesome. And you just don't see these types of games, really. I mean, you'll see something like Superpower 2, but it's so simplified. It doesn't have the intricacies that this game portrays when displaying competing in a market. And more importantly, you're competing in a market against actual people who they're using their own thought processes, they're using their own strategies, and trying to do what they think is best. So the fact that games like this are not more abundant is mind-boggling to me, because this is so freaking cool and an absolutely great way at showing people exactly how a market works, exactly how economics works, because this and it's a nice simplified format rather than the complicated irrationality of a real world market. So that's pretty cool. In my opinion, it's far more straightforward. You don't have to worry about like a factory fire or anything like that. But hypothetically, someone could make a game like that, and it's entirely possible and would be really, really cool to see. But anyway, this has been Commissar Bro. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Be sure to like and subscribe and all that stuff. And more importantly, be sure to come back next week when we do another episode, because I really want to talk more about this game and just keep on playing this game and really enjoying the experience. But anyway, this has been CB, and I'll see you next time.